Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, we've gone through this week looking at different verses that are worth memorizing. Memorizing in the sense of not just being able to recall them, but actually thinking about them so that they become like part of your vocabulary, a language that you speak, where you just think in these terms all the time. And let these passages soothe your heart. Let them direct your steps. Let them fortify your soul. You know, you eat breakfast, and a lot of cereal, if you eat cereal, is fortified with vitamins. Means they just take vitamins and stick them in the cereal recipe. I want these verses to fortify your soul. I want you to stick them into your brain and into your heart so that you can draw nourishment from them in this life. I've done a number of them this week. If you've missed them, go back and look. But I want to close the weekend, go into the weekend with one that everybody should have memorized. Now, I'm giving you the verse. It's Joshua 1:9. It's important that you take it into context because God doesn't just deliver this verse. It's a verse where Moses has brought the people through the wilderness, but Moses is now dead and Joshua's taken over. And the question becomes, what's going to happen now? Moses was the one that God used to conquer Pharaoh and so many of the armies as they were in the wilderness for 40 years. And God spoke to Moses, and is everything going to fall apart? And God tells Joshua, don't ever let the words of God's law, what God had communicated to Moses, don't let it leave your mind and don't let it leave your heart. You dwell on it. You follow God. You walk in his paths. And then he's got this Joshua 1 verse 9 passage that I think you and I both should have memorized. God says to Joshua, be strong and courageous. I mean, not just strong. I mean, you might be strong and you can lift and do push-ups and pull-ups and all of that. But without courage, that strength is going to go to waste. You can have courage, but if you don't have strength, you might be in a little bit of trouble. God says, I want you to have both. I want you to be strong and courageous. Then he says the negative. Do not be frightened. Don't be afraid. And do not be dismayed or bewildered or unsure, uncertain, not knowing where to go or what to do. Don't be frightened. Don't be bewildered. Now, it's one thing to say all of that. Be strong, be courageous, don't be frightened, don't be dismayed. But there's a reason God gives, and it's the last part of the verse. God says, because, or for, is the way it's often translated. It's the Hebrew word ki, means because, for, something like that. So you, Joshua, you be strong, be courageous, don't be frightened, don't be dismayed, because the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Wow. Now we know why we can be strong. We've got God with us. Now we know why we can be courageous. We've got God with us. Now we know why we don't need to be afraid. We've got God with us. Now we know why we don't need to be dismayed. We've got God with us. The Lord, our God, is with us wherever we go. And that is Oh, well, Siri doesn't understand on my watch, but you do, because that is your video thought for the day. Memorize it. It's good.